Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. You know, I've enjoyed so much working on the Red Brick House. For me, it is a joy to get out there to try and save something that most people had really literally given up on. You know, people are like, bulldoze that thing, it's an eyesore. I literally had a woman who said, you know, the gophers and stuff are in and out and bricks are falling off the house, and, you know, it's just bad. And I want a street light out here and everything else to stop traffic because of the Walmart that was going in. People gave up on that place. But as we go through and we fix the floors, you know, because, you know, you got to have a good foundation and things for the floor joists to be on. As we've gone through and we fixed the floors so that way Michael's not falling through it anymore. You know, as we've taken care of the leaky roof so that way the wood doesn't rot out anymore. And as we've taken off layers and layers of just crap, you know, all the paint that's peeling and stuff, and you see what's underneath of it, you all of a sudden start realizing, my God, we have something great right there because the bones and the structure of it are good. It needs some love. It needs some attention. It needs some updating. And when it's done, it will be a treasure. And see, that's the truth about just about anything. I can take a look at my Dallas Cowboys. I know, you know, Cowboy fans, you're still pissed off that we've lost to San Francisco the last 2 years, but I'll say that's kind of deja vu to back in the 90s because we were becoming a good team, but we couldn't get over the hump. It had been forever since we had been to the Super Bowls. But what we've got right now is we've got good bones with the Cowboys. I don't care what you guys say about Dak Prescott. Here's what's kind of crazy, because damn Gina, shout out to.
Damn, Gina.
She shared with me a tweet that Dak Prescott has had 2 seasons where he's thrown for over 4,000 yards, right? You know, in the history of the Eagles, they have 1 season where somebody threw over 4,000 yards. That's it. 1. Just saying. The fact that Dak Prescott has, you know, gone further than, say, Carson Wentz and all these other quarterbacks that were drafted in front of him, with the exception of Jared Goff, considering he was a 4th-round draft pick, you got to look and say, he's got good bones for the team. I know people say he's not done it, this, that, and the other, but I look at the Aaron Rodgers when he won the Super Bowl. Number 2 defense, 6th in takeaway. Great wide receivers across the board, great coaching staff. Everything was perfect for Aaron Rodgers there. When it wasn't perfect, he wasn't winning them. I look at Russell Wilson. You know, when Russell Wilson won it, number 1 defense, number 1 taking the football away, number 1 in yardage, great running back. Boom. When he didn't have those things, wasn't winning them. I look at Peyton Manning and his illustrious career. He won 2 in all those years of being great. So clearly there are more things. And I'll say Dan Marino never won one. And you can't tell me he's not one of the greatest quarterbacks, you know, in football. A guy who had a bad knee and could not run. So it's more than just the quarterback, but you got the quarterback. You've got some good players on the offensive line. You've got some good receivers. You've got some great defensive players. The Dallas Cowboys have good bones. We just got to get rid of the shit that's on top and get to those good layers that are underneath. We got to add some more to that foundation. You know, maybe we need some more floor joists and things like that. You know, some more offensive linemen to help keep that structure on top of that foundation. And if the Cowboys can do a few of these things on this fixer-upper, then lo and behold, you just don't know what this team can do. Now, the Cowboys going into the draft, I'm excited because tomorrow I'll pick up the SUV, start packing that up. And then Wednesday morning, we'll be leaving, going to the draft. I'm going to be working on, I got some new equipment and things to try and make the sound quality good no matter where we are. I'm going light. Okay, I'm going to be light. We're going to be like, the Marine Corps. We're going to be able to hit the beaches. We're going to be able to put out the content. And we're going to keep on going, okay? We're going to adapt, overcome. I can't remember the rest of it right now. But we're going to do this thing. Seems like the Cowboys, and the thing is, you don't know what the Cowboys are actually thinking. I think the Cowboys play games with the media, when you hear things like the Cowboys are interested in C.J. Stroud. Well, apparently, if they want C.J. Stroud, the way he's fallen, they could probably get him. He might be in the second round for all we know, the way he's dropping. After the test scores came out and his lack of height. Here's what we heard from Mike Granardi this morning. Per front office executives, okay, so he's saying, this isn't just me, they're saying some front office. We don't know if it's Cowboys front office, but from some front office executives. The floor for Michael Myers is believed to be the Dallas Cowboys at 26. They don't believe if he's there at 26, the Cowboys will take him. They don't think he's going to go any further than that. Okay? They think that he could be drafted higher, which is unusual for tight end. We saw Kyle Pitts in the top 10 a couple of years ago. So far has not been in there. We've seen most of the great tight ends actually being later round draft picks. But if you flip a coin, you could flip a coin 50 times, and every time it comes up heads. You flip it the 51st time, you're going to say, it's going to be tails this time. No, it's still a 50-50 chance that it's going to be heads or tails. Same odds. What happened all those previous times does not matter right now. It's a whole new different scenario. And every player has a 50-50 shot of being a bust or being a great player. Just does. And the thing I say about the Cowboys is if they look at a guy and say he's the first round guy pick, I got to go with them. I look at that and say they have more success than anybody else with their first round picks. They just do. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke, Dez Bryant. I mean, you can go down the list. In the last 10, 12 years, you could say Taco and Morris Claiborne are the only two that weren't great. But Morris has got a Super Bowl ring. He didn't pan out. I mean, he didn't pan out the way we wanted him to, but, everybody has some bad ones. If the Cowboys deem him, Mike Myers, the tight end, as the guy, I won't be mad at it because I'll believe and I'll trust the process in that. Because in many regards, I think what we're going to, tight end is more important than a lot of positions that we've deemed more important before. Tight end is key in the West Coast offense. And with the West Coast offense, having a multitude of guys to catch the football is key. Because you can't say, I got one or two good receivers. No, you need to have 3 or 4. You need to have tight ends that can block and that can catch. Because if you have a tight end who can block well and can catch well, now I have to worry about him blocking. Is it a run play? And I have to worry about him catching. Is it a pass play? It puts more on the defense. And if it's a guy who can really block, it helps your running game too. Wouldn't be mad about that. I'm still not the guy, though, that says you got to take Bijan if he's there. Sorry. It's not the old football. And it's not so much that you're taking the pick on Bijan. It's that you're taking the pick on someplace else that may be more impactful. Zeke and Tony, they split carries. You're going to run the ball about 25 times a game. Are you going to take your number one pick for a guy that's going to touch the ball 15 times a game? Especially after paying $10 million for Tony Pollard? I just don't see that being the case. So we'll find out. We'll be there. We'll give you our instant reaction and stuff. We'll give you the sights and the sounds of everything that is. And you definitely want to follow us on the road. There's going to be so much content from us, you're going to get sick of us. But here's an interesting piece right here. The Eagles' former coach, oh my goodness, this is almost comical. The Eagles' former defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, kind of threw shade on the Eagles fans and the Eagles organization. I got to play this clip, and then we have to talk about where he lied about some of it.
But I'm very comfortable talking to the media. Philly is a very hard media market. We were 9-0, and I did my presser, and they say, "Coach, we want you fired." And I said, "Well, we're the number one defense in the NFL right now in every statistical category. Why do you want me fired? You don't blitz enough." I said, "Well, we lead the league in sacks by 30-plus sacks. So if you want to come call the defense, and you can have at it." But no, it's cool. They have a job to do, and I understand that. But I'm very comfortable talking to the media.
Okay. Couple things about that. They were never 9-0. They were never 9-0. They were 8-0, and then they lost to Left Hands Up. Who are we? The Commanders. You weren't 9-0. Okay. Second, he says that somebody said, "We want you fired because you don't blitz enough." So this is an article I read this morning. I almost find it comical. After Gannon's statements, Pro Football Focus poured through the transcripts of the media remarks from around the time the team was approximately 9-0. They weren't 9-0. They were 8-1, and found no evidence of an exchange like this. There was one question about Gannon actually blitzing more, to which Gannon told reporters to fact check that. Another question was asked about Gannon and the Eagles blitzing being so effective. Finally, Gannon once told the Philadelphia media, "That's the same amount of blitzes are in the game plan each week, and the number of them are called depending on the situation," which is true. That's the extent of the midseason blitz-related questions for Gannon. You can see at no point did anybody say they wanted him fired for blitzing not enough. But I will say that Eagle fans and Philly 500 and guys like that were definitely calling for his head. Yeah, we're never satisfied. We're never satisfied. So he also said we lead the sacks by 30-plus sacks. The Eagles had a historic season when it came to sacks. Gannon's defense recorded 70 sacks, the third most in NFL history, only behind the 84 Bears and Minnesota Vikings of 71 and 71. 71 by Minnesota in 89. Putting up 70 sacks was impressive, especially considering the second most season was 55 by Kansas City, which is only 25. So it's not 30 plus. So here you have the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, who kind of starting off a little bit rocky. You got Hopkins, who wants to get the hell out of there. You got Budda Baker, who wants to get the hell out of there. You got Kyler Murray, who, you just signed to a big contract the year before, who's not going to be ready to start the season. And now you're having some lies. Be that as it may, the Eagles may still miss having Jonathan Gannon and 5 of those starters on the defense. We'll have to wait and see how all that works out. But we are draft focused here at Joe Boo Sports Report, and we're going to be getting ready to get the work in and get it done for you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, check out Primetime Phil, check out Game Time, definitely check out my man DMV. And DMV, he's emailed me a copy of his top 100. And I want to see if I can get some time with my man DMV today so we can talk about that, and you can get your copy too. I'll have more details later on today as we get ready for the NFL Draft. I'm Mark Holmes, and you know how we roll.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.